Welcome to Yoga Community. I'm Sarah and we're going to do a Yin class today. I invite you to come to a seated position on your mat and also recommend a blanket. We will be doing our poses without the common props that are available at the studio, but if you have a cushion from the couch or a pillow that you like to use, or you can grab a blanket and roll it up to the thickness that works best for you. Right now I'm just sitting on a folded blanket, having my hips elevated. And we're gonna start the class with a little pranayama, a little breath work. So find a comfortable seat, and we'll be in these poses for 3 to 5 minutes. So we're gonna allow ourselves to find the pose that we are comfortable with and find the edge and just allow ourselves to experience that. So go ahead and sit, close your eyes if it's comfortable. Find a spot in your home that allows you the space and the time to enjoy this yoga practice. And as you're sitting, lengthen through the crown of your head. And feel yourself rooting into the floor. Allow the shoulders to become soft and shoulder blades gliding down the ribs, coming towards one another. Allow the breath to enter in through the nose, deep into the body. Slow the breath down. And today we'll practice a 3-part yoga breath, breathing deep down into the belly, releasing the lower abdominals and allowing the belly to extend as you draw the breath into the body. And as you exhale, the belly pulls back towards the spine. Slow breaths, deep breaths into the belly. Allow the thoughts to be focused on this breath, releasing any of the lists that you've compiled in your mind, dishes, anything that might distract you from this practice. Big Buddha belly. And if you enjoy this pranayama practice at home, feel free to extend the time of this portion of the yoga class if you want a little extra time with this breath work. And as you feel the belly expand with the in-breath, draw the breath deeper in and allow the ribs to expand. And as you exhale, the ribs draw in towards the center of the body. Belly back towards the spine. In that order, inhaling belly, ribs. Exhaling ribs, belly. And continuing, inhaling belly, ribs. Exhaling ribs, and belly. Feel the belly expand. Feel the ribs expand. Feel the outer parts of the body, the sides of the body expanding with that breath. Now the third part of the yogic breath. As you inhale, allow the belly to expand. Then the ribs. And then the chest. Allow the chest to rise, filling the whole upper body all the way up to the collarbones. Feel that space fill with that breath. And as you exhale, the chest lowers. The ribs draw into the center and the belly back towards the spine. Belly expands with the breath. Ribs expand with the breath. Chest lifts. Belly. Ribs. Chest. Chest. Ribs. And belly. One more full round of the breath. Belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. And slowly as you inhale, your next inhale, release the practice and allow the air to flow into the body, still with the depth and slowness that we'll keep throughout the rest of the practice. And from here, softly open the eyes, coming into melting heart. So if you have a blanket, remove the blanket from behind you and come onto your knees. Allow the hips to remain above the knees, and then take the hands forward, walking the hands forward and dropping the chest down towards the floor. Allow the heart to melt down towards the floor. And if you do have that blanket and you need a little bit of support, you can take the blankets and prop it down below the chest as you drop it down towards the floor. If you like, you can take the blanket and place it under the forearms so that the shoulders get a little more opening as the chest drops down towards the floor and the head drops down towards the floor. Allow that breath to remain steady, slow, calm. In these poses, we are allowing ourselves to experience a deeper stretch in the joints, the connective tissue. Whereas the muscles, when we extend and flex our muscles, they're more elastic, like a rubber band, and our joints are more plastic. It takes a bit more time for them to experience an opening and a stretch in the joints and the connective tissue. So as we move into these poses, we take our time. It's also good to note that if you experience pain, to come out of the pose, if you're experiencing a sense of discomfort more in the mind, as in you're not wanting or you're having an aversion to doing something, notice that and move into the pose with caution so you can find an edge without harming the body. slowly come out of the pose. Walk the hands closer to the body and maybe take the knees a little wider apart. I'm going to come into tadpole pose, dropping the chest down towards the floor and the hips down towards the heels. We're going to thread our left arm through into a little twisted tadpole, keeping that right arm extended up, stretching the outer portion of our shoulder as we come down. And lift the chest enough to straighten that left arm out and to reach the right arm through, coming back down to our twisted tadpole. And again, inhale, lift the chest enough. Take both arms straight out. Drop the chest down towards the floor. We're going to come all the way forward onto our bellies. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. Taking the elbows directly below the shoulders, allow the palms to be flat on the floor. We're going to take the legs closer together so that the feet are about hips distance apart. tops of the feet on the mat. Pressing through the elbows, draw the shoulders back. Lengthen through the crown of the head to begin with. Notice the lower back. You might feel the extension of the spine as the shoulders are lowering down, but still pressing through those elbows, lifting up through the chest. And with the palms, you can pull the chest forward a little bit more. Maybe tuck the tailbone slightly. And breathe into that belly, draw it in through the nose. And if you like to take seal pose instead of sphinx pose, you're welcome to straighten the arms and press into the hands. Maybe walk the hands closer to the body, just an inch. Again, keeping that length in the neck. Allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And keep that breath as a guide for your thoughts. Witness yourself in this pose. Witness how you feel in the lower back, the legs. Take notice of the whole body. And witness the thoughts. Maybe this isn't your favorite pose. Maybe it is your favorite pose. Allow yourself to release any judgment about the thoughts. And let them fall to the side. And bring it back to the breath. You're in seal pose. Lower down into Sphinx for a few breaths. And lower all the way down onto your belly. And release the arms at the side. And we're going to rest on one cheek. Breathe into the lower back. Again, as you draw the breath deep into the body and the belly fills with air, the lower back rises up. As you inhale, next time lift the head and switch to the other cheek. And take the hands under the shoulders. We're going to press all the way back slowly to child's pose. Help release the lower back. Taking a few breaths here. Again, that back. Feel the breath. Expand the back. Expand the sides of the body. Expand the ribs. And then coming up to hands and knees, we're going to do frog. We're going to do full frog today, so I suggest taking a blanket if you have one nearby, or some kind of padding for the knees, as when we come into the pose, our knees are going to come off the side of the mat. Go ahead and take the heels so that they're in line with the knee, and flex the feet as they come out to the sides. So our hips are going to be mostly in line with the knees as we come down and begin to slide the knees apart, away from one another. And you can already feel that in the inner thigh. And you can support yourself with your forearms or a blanket. And as you breathe into the inner thigh, you might rock the hips forward and backward just slightly, just till you find that point where you get a little more stretch. Sitting back actually will help a little bit intensify that stretch. If you find that this is just a little too much, you can also take the heels towards one another, towards the center of the mat. And also notice the pelvic bowl, tilting the pelvic bowl forward and slightly tucking. It's a little harder to tuck, but you might notice that you might be able to tilt that pelvic bowl forward, and notice again where you feel that stretch and that intensity, and use that breath. Notice if it's an uncomfortable feeling, if it's a fear about moving into that stretch, or if it is an actual physical pain. And use that breath to move into that space of discomfort, if it's just a discomfort in the stretch. It's an intense pose. We'll slowly come out of this pose. Maybe walk the forearms closer to the body as you slide the knees closer to one another. And bring them in towards the center. We're going to remove the blanket or the padding. Then we're going to come back onto our bellies, and we're going to extend our right arm out to the side like a T. And we're going to begin to roll onto that right side. If you're rolled onto your right side, you can use that left hand to support. Go ahead and relax the head down towards the floor. Staying here, or if you like and you're able to, you can step that left foot behind the right leg with the knee pointing upwards. You'll feel the stretch in the front part of the shoulder. Allow a few breaths here. If it's a little too much, you can always take that left leg and straighten it on top of the right again. If you want to move a little deeper, you can take that left hand and reach it behind you and try to clasp the hands. Deep breath. And if you're clasping your hands, release the hands. And take a moment, slowly straightening that left leg if it's bent. Using that left hand to support the body as you roll back onto your belly. Draw that right arm in towards the body and extend the left arm straight out to the side like a T. Begin to roll onto your left side. You can use that right hand for support. Allow the head to relax down towards the floor. Again, if you are able to today, you can take that right leg and step it behind the left with the knee pointing up. Use that right hand for support if you need it. And find your variation on this side, moving through the same variations as the other side, so taking your time at each step of the way. Clasp the hands. Your arms are clasped. Release the arms. Slowly bring the right arm in front of you to the floor. If the leg is bent behind, straighten the leg. Slowly roll onto your belly. And take that left arm in towards the body. I'm going to press up into hands and knees. I'm going to walk the knees back a little bit. I'm going to step that right foot forward. Heel toe that right foot forward, or if you need to, pick the foot up into dragon pose. Take the right arm into the inside of the right foot and allow the hips to drop down towards the floor. You don't want to dump all your weight initially into the hips, so to make sure there's support in the hip. And then as you breathe into the pose, as the hip naturally eases in, draw the shoulders back, lengthen through the crown. Breathe into the hips. Breathe down into the belly, drawing that space into the hips. And if you like, coming down to the forearms. Even if you don't like, maybe try coming down to the forearms. And after trying, if it's not working for you, you can always come back up. We're going to come up to the hands. We're going to come into twisted dragon. We're going to take our right hand to the right knee and really press open that shoulder, gazing over that right shoulder behind you. So the hips will still be moving towards the floor. Maybe that right knee comes open just a little bit as you press the hand into the knee. The left hand on the floor presses into the floor, really pressing up, opening the chest, gazing behind. And then coming back to center, releasing the hand. We're going to move the hips back, walk the hands back, and take that right knee towards the floor. Maybe just do a little half cat-cow with the sacrum, tucking the tailbone, extending it up, and then take the left foot forward. You can move it with the hand if you need to. Take the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Dragon pose on this side. Nice, strong through the arms, lengthen through the crown, draw the shoulders back, creating length in the spine as the hips drop towards the floor. Again, use that breath, guiding the thoughts into this space right here, right now. And if it's available for you. And if you tried it on the other side, go ahead and come down to the forearms. Maybe you have to come back to the hands. the forearms. Let's press up to the hands. Coming into twisted dragon. On the left side, left hand to the left knee, pressing into that right hand so that the shoulder is really pressing away from the ears. As the left hand presses into the left knee, that left shoulder draws back, opening the chest, gazing behind you. That hip is still dropping down towards the floor, lengthening through the front of the body, chest opens. Nice, deep breaths. Coming back to center. Slowly draw the hips back. Take that left knee down to the floor. And we're going to find our way onto our backs. So coming down to the mat. Make sure there's space behind you. And then roll down onto your backs. I'm going to take the soles of the feet onto the mat, knees pointing up towards the sky. We're going to cross our right leg over our left, twisted roots. We're going to bring our knees up towards the chest, picking the feet up off of the floor. And with our right hand, we're going to reach for the top of our left foot. Left hand reaches for the top of the right foot. If you can't reach your feet, you can grab the ankles or the shins, or just hold onto the knees and draw them gently towards the chest. And release the feet. We're going to take the knees over to the right for a twist. Keeping the legs crossed. Just allow the knees to fall. You can use that right hand to rest on top of the knees, or the thighs, or out to the side. Gaze over the left shoulder. And draw the knees back towards the center. Uncross the legs. Switch to the other side. So the left leg is going to cross over the top of the right. Knees are going to draw towards the chest, and the feet are going to pick up off of the ground. Left hand to the right foot, right hand to the left foot. And deep breath. Releasing the feet. Allow the knees, while crossed, to fall to the left. That left hand can reach over the top of the left knee or the thigh. Right arm reach out to the side, and go ahead and look over that right shoulder. Draw the knees straight up towards the sky. Untwist the legs. And while we're here on our backs, take your blanket and roll it up. We're going to lift our hips and place the blanket under the sacrum. If you want a little more height, you can take another blanket or a pillow, place that under the sacrum, and either take the feet so the soles are on the floor with the knees falling together, or you can straighten both legs or one leg at a time. And allow your back and the front of the body to release with the breath. Again, you can keep the legs straight. Bend one knee, and if you bend one knee, make sure you alternate to the other knee, or have both knees bent. Slowly bending the knees. They're not already bent, so that the soles of the feet are on the floor. Lift up the hips and remove the blankets. Coming down all the way, slowly roll vertebra by vertebra, the back to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Lift your forehead towards your knees and squeeze. We're moving into Shavasana. Allow the legs to become straight out on the mat. If you like to have a bolster, if you have, or a blanket to just place behind the knees, go ahead and walk the shoulder blades down the back, arms out to the sides, slightly straight alongside the body, feet slightly apart, and allow the whole body to become heavy and relax. Allow the breath to flow in and out without effort. And release into Shavasana. Allow the breath to enter the body more fully. Bring small movements to the fingers and the toes. Allow the head to fall left and right. And slowly rolling to one side. And pausing there for a moment. And press all the way up to seated position. And find a comfortable seat. And allow yourself to feel the benefits of this yoga practice. Draw the hands together in front of your chest. And with that breath, notice the hips, shoulders, back, belly, whole body, mind, face. And thank you for joining me with this Yin class. From the light in my heart to the light in each of yours. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.